Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys a Naruto Manga 639 prediction on my low-quality webcam. Yeah, I know, I would have preferred to have this in HD, maybe outside, but I can't do that right now. But anyway, let me go give you guys a quick synopsis, and then I'll give you my prediction as usual. Now, of course, the chapter starts off with us seeing Sakura, and I think a couple other people of the Alliance questioning and wondering what the freak happened when we just all of a sudden saw the Ten Tails disappear, and then all of a sudden Obito's the Jinchuriki. So she asked Hinata what happened. Hinata goes ahead, has a little flashback. Obviously, Hinata would be able to see or get a better look of it since she has her Byakugan. And we get a flashback through Hinata seeing the Ten Tails get sucked into Obito. And then eventually we see the end result of seeing how Obito's new look is, which actually the new look to me looks pretty cool. You got Obito having spikes protrude from his back. He has the Renegon symbol on his back, as well as these Tomo, and all of his injuries he's regenerated from them. And his skin kind of looks a little bit different. I mean, it still looks. I mean, he still has like lines on his body from where he got damaged when the boulder fell on him, but it's a little bit different. I mean, they're not like wrinkles necessarily. So of course, Obito, his hair is completely white now, and I believe he's not wearing any shoes anymore. He kind of has like, a different outfit. He doesn't have the outfit he wore when he had his war outfit. He doesn't have that outfit with the Uchiha crest symbol at all anymore. So, I actually like Obito's new design in this form. And from that point on, we actually see, we see the first Hokage. He's caught off by surprise, I believe. We have Naruto and as well as Sasuke. Sasuke was actually questioning what the heck happened by Naruto, and Naruto said, well, the thing is, I've known Obito was doing this the entire time due to the tail beast sucking it, or he could sense the tail beast being sucked into Obito one by one. And not only that, but he could tell due to the hand sign, since he's seen Rene Tensei before, that Obito was doing a completely different hand sign. Instead of doing this, which is the actual Rene Tensei hand sign, Obito was doing this the entire time, which is how he knew. From that point on, the first Hokage had several of the Mokuton gates come down, trying to stop Obito. Like, well, he's still Jinchuriki, I should still be able to take him down. Obito easily broke through all those like little to no effort with just using the chakra arms. Not only that, but we even saw Obito grab onto pieces of I think with like all sides of the barrier with just chakra arms and shatter that completely, just break it apart completely, which of course caught the Hokages off guard. Now, one thing that we heard from the Achibi, because I believe Amoy asked Killer B, okay, like, what's going on? What's happening with this guy? Did he reach the third and final form that you talked about? And then the Achibi said, no, he's not in the third and final form, but, he is a Jinchuriki now, so he has an imperfect Jubi, I guess you could say, inside of him, which means that he can focus his power better. His power is contained now, and he can actually focus it. So, that makes him more dangerous than he was before, rather than just firing it out randomly. So, of course, now the Alliance, is a little bit freaked out about that. You have people screaming like, oh, no, looks like we have to really, watch our guard now. The Hokages, they stepped their game up, I believe, from that point on. Then you had, a lot of the Hokages, and then they released their clones. They got ready to approach Obito by, actually, by the way, I was about to say, Obito seems like he's got a massive speed boost, too, because right after that, I believe he, was already, like, on top of the Torii gate, like, which, in case some of you guys didn't know what those gates are called, they're called, like, Torii gates. When you see they have, like, two different pieces to it, and it's like, you see them a lot of times in Japanese culture, those gates that Hashirama use, those are usually called Torii gates, I think, or Torii seals, something like that. Yeah, I know it's called a Torii. Anyway, he was, like, on top of the Torii where Gamakichi was, like, in, like, an instant. Like, it almost took them off guard. And I heard Minato, or not heard, but read that Minato went ahead and he said, Obito, stop this. And it seemed like Obito actually was caught a little bit off guard when he stated that. So then from that point on, of course, then the Hokages approached Obito. Then after that, we even heard Hashirama admit that Obito was stronger than him. And then we even heard one other key thing from Madara. Because Madara, everybody's been wondering if Madara's been out of the game, if he's pretty much, gonna just lose and fall over at this point. But Madara has had a plan up his sleeve this entire time, a trump card. So from that point on, then, of course, I think that was pretty much, well, it wasn't exactly where the chapter come off, but I think that was like the second to last page. And then from that point, we had Obito rush the Hokages, like go straight through them, and then that was the end of the chapter with Obito having like this dark look on his face. Now, I'm not sure if that was necessarily the best synopsis, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys read the chapter, and I'd like to give a quick rundown. Well, I don't know if necessarily it was a quick rundown, but I'd like to give a rundown of the chapter before usually I get started. And I can actually shorten it up if some of you guys want me to. So if you guys prefer me shorten up or maybe, not give a rundown, I can also do that as well. But anyway, let's just get started with this. Okay, now, in terms of my thoughts on the chapter, I felt as though the beginning of the chapter, though this entire chapter was definitely very enjoyable for me, I enjoyed, probably every bit of it. The beginning could have been cut down a lot, and it didn't really need to be there. Like, we needed an explanation as far as to why Obito had, or how he was able to seal the Jubi in him. But the panels or the pages that Kishimoto wasted on seeing the Jubi just being sucked in, to me, wasn't really necessary. I mean, you could have had the Alliance maybe explain to somebody, oh, it's been sucked in or something like that. But I feel as though the part where Naruto explained what happened with the Jubi was good enough. We didn't need a whole flashback. I even believe there was a few panels in there that we got from last week just from seeing the Jubi getting sucked into Obito. So again, that part wasn't needed. So if I were to go for probably the first couple pages of the chapter, I felt like they weren't really that necessary, which takes away a little bit from it. Now, the middle part of the chapter, of course, I feel like that was needed, kind of showcase a little bit of Obito's power. He broke the gates, okay, it raises a sense of danger. You got an explanation from Killer Bee that this was not the third and final form of the Jubi, so all the fans out there, we all know now that isn't the final form. And the end of the chapter, of course, established, I guess you could say, or kind of set up for an actual fighting chapter next week. Not only that, but then when Minato called out Obito's name in this chapter, that also made a lot of us question whether or not Obito is even there or if the Jubi is in control. So you had a little bit of mystery in there. Not only that, but then we even had Madara even go on to state that he has a trump card. So this chapter, I'd probably say the last half of the chapter kind of got us as the readers thinking a little bit, or at least it should have. Got us thinking a little bit. It raised some questions in terms of, gave a little mystery to it, wonder what Madara's trump card may be, and also makes you question whether or not Obito's in control. But the beginning part of the chapter, again, wasn't that important to me. So of course the action to me was pretty interesting. The beginning, didn't really need to happen. Of course I enjoyed everything, but, I felt like that was kind of just wasted panels because I feel like Kishimoto kind of wanted to end on the note of Obito just kind of wrecking Hokages. But I feel like he could have handled it a little bit differently. So, I don't know. Yeah, I have to take away from that. But if I were to actually go ahead and say what I think is going to happen in the next following chapters. Okay, now, I think that we're probably going... I mean, Madara, when he uses his trump card, I think that's maybe happened, maybe probably say the next 2 or 3 chapters, because you got to give Obito a little time to kind of, give the Hokages, a run for their money, as well as Naruto. So I think next chapter is just going to be a complete butt whooping. Like the Alliance, I can almost see it now. All the Hokages trying to surround Obito. Naruto's probably going to get off of Gamakichi. Actually, I would actually even argue Obito may be heading straight for Naruto, because you notice the direction. He appeared right on top of the giant Tori seal. And, he ran straight through the Hokages. And if you look at where the Hokages were standing, they were standing right in front of Gamakichi. So I can't see why he would be going that way if he wasn't after something. So it may be the Ten Tails maybe trying to recover his chakra, maybe trying to steal his chakra from Naruto, like steal Kurama, and maybe take also the chakra from Minato. That may actually be what the objective is, because it doesn't really seem like he knows who Minato is at this point, since he doesn't even freaking know himself. So I think that may actually be what he's going after. And so I'm thinking that may be the problem next week. And Hokage's probably going to go do everything in their power to try to stop him, because they probably will catch on to what's going on. He's trying to devour the chakra, or he's trying to absorb the chakra. Maybe due to the Rinnegan, since we know the Rinnegan can also absorb chakra through the Predapath ability. So he may try to maybe extract it through those means or something like that. Also, I could definitely see maybe the cliffhanger of next week. Probably maybe him actually catching Naruto, if that's what he's after. Catching Naruto and maybe trying to absorb the chakra. Or maybe Minato next week. I'll go with that. Minato probably will try to transfer maybe some of the chakra to Naruto next week after maybe we see a struggle between them. Because I don't think, even though the majority of the chapter will probably focus on everybody trying to fight against Obito in his new form, not to mention that Hashirama in his new form, I do think that there is going to be some probably plan going on between Sasuke, Minato, and Naruto that they're probably going to come up with while the Hokages are doing that. Now, I do think that we may actually get a scene where Hashirama may actually go ahead and tell all the Shinobi Alliance, because at this point, look at the Shinobi Alliance. They cannot do anything. He might as well just tell them to get out of here. The Hokages, I want to mention, the Kages may show up. They probably will. I'm going to go with this. Yeah, Kages, I expect for them maybe to show up next week. And probably when the Hokages show up, either they will evacuate the Shinobi Alliance, because at this point, there is nothing they can do, or the Kages, the Hokages, and of course Naruto, Minato, and Sasuke are just going to try their darndest to jump Obito, and it's just not going to be successful, while maybe a few of them try to come up with a plan. But I mean, that's pretty much all I can go. I mean, this is one of those things where, I think that maybe in a few chapters we may actually see Madara use his trump card, but next week's chapter I think mostly fighting is going to be going down, or maybe some strategizing for future chapters that we'll see executed later on. But that's what I foresee. But anyway, you guys can feel free to tell me your predictions of what you think is going to happen in next week's chapter. Don't forget to like this video. So if you did like this video, please put a thumbs up. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot something else. Also, the rating for this week's chapter is, I'm going to probably give it, I think this is probably maybe, I go with Jonin level. Jonin level chapter. Wasn't Kage level, wasn't above Kage level, definitely not. The beginning part of the chapter, again, took away a little bit from it, but other than that, I enjoyed the chapter. I thought the chapter was done decently. The cliffhanger was pretty good, and the questions that were raised at the end were pretty good. But again, the beginning was what took away from it a little bit. But again, if you liked this video, don't forget to throw a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, you can feel free to throw a thumbs down. The choice is yours. Also, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more. And one thing I have to say is I apologize if this video was a little bit messier. If I was a little bit messy in this video, rambled on a little bit too much. But it's late at night, and I wanted to make sure I got this video out to you guys. So anyway, have a nice day.